Ultimately, my first thoughts were, this is it. This can't be it. Like, this can't be the end of my life. It's too easy. I didn't even feel the cold of the river, but I couldn't move, paralyzed. And I don't even know if I was thinking those words, paralyzed, just looking down at the bottom of the river. Did I somehow like reach him or touch him or get him to come and get me? Because it was my last resort. I couldn't swim. I couldn't get my head above water. And so the last thing I could do is really focus and think about someone saving me. And I almost like went out and saw the situation from above. And I just knew that Cam had to be the one that came and get me. And the next thing I know, there he is. And I knew I was going to be okay.
When I got there, his dad came over and said that he had broken his neck. I tried to talk to the doctor for quite some time, but finally I did, and I said, what are Brad's chances? What's his prognosis? And he said 0 to 1%. And I said, not even his beautiful hands.
When I broke my neck, devastating for my mom. She said to me, I wish I could trade places with you, Bradley. And I know she meant that.
He said he refused. I said, Brad, if I could, I'd take your place any day. And he said, Mom, you never will. He said, I'd never let you because this is a new chapter in my life and I have to live it out.
I dove into this river expecting that I was going to be swimming strongly down current to get a Frisbee. That was it. That was what my body was doing when I hit the water. But the body wasn't doing it. My head was doing it. You know, my mind was making those motions, but my body wasn't listening. And that was the sick feeling at first was, okay, what's going on here? And then it all floods into you. My arms aren't moving, I can't. And then I tried to get my head above water to breathe fresh air, and that's gone. So I'm holding on to the last breath that I ever took, able-bodied breath I ever took. I was holding it, you know, in my lungs, because I knew that if I didn't, there wasn't going to be any more. And that Frisbee, in a way, is a symbol of my able-bodiedness, just floated away from me. It was something that I would not get back. It just floated down the river away from me.
I have the honor this year of presenting the 2007 Susan Marshall Fighting Spirit Award. Throughout his work as a BCPA peer associate, Brad Jacobson is well loved and respected in the spinal cord injured community. Brad's undefeatable positive outlook and his passion for helping others to enjoy a full life, like he does, would alone make him a worthy recipient of this award. But there's much, much more. In the fall of 2003, an idea that most of us thought would be impossible was formed by Brad and Corby Peterson. Their idea? To create a team that would result in the first time that anyone with a significant physical disability had traveled the challenging West Coast Trail. The West Coast Trail is one where hundreds of able-bodied people are rescued every year. To say it is rugged is a major understatement. Accompanied by a crew of 9, Brad set out in the summer of 2005, and he hiked the northern part of the West Coast Trail. Brad had hiked there once before, prior to his injury, and he wasn't about to let quadriplegia stop him from trying to do it again.
It wasn't about 9 people taking a quadriplegic on the West Coast Trail. That's not what this project was about. It was about 10 people going out to do the West Coast Trail. And everybody has their disabilities. You know, there's things that they're not as strong. Like Brad's is maybe just a bit more obvious to the outsiders. It really was about realizing the boundaries that we set for ourselves. And in so many cases, they're just mental boundaries or they're social constructs. Like, you are disabled, therefore you can do this now and can't do that. Or you can't carry a normal load and, you know, bring a quadriplegic along. I mean, those boundaries are set for us, and we just refuse to accept them.
Trust played such an important role in this trip. And it's funny, I mean, you think about it, the amount of trust that Brad would have to have for us, pushing him in a trail rider over that, you know, extreme level of terrain to put myself in his shoes and try to envision completely surrendering, believing that the people around me weren't going to toss me over the side or slip, or, I mean, there's a lot of chances you're taking on a daily basis on this type of expedition.
It's so beautiful. I mean, everything is so much bigger out there. You know, the sky is huge. And then, you know, next closest thing is Japan. Like, it's massive. And you feel, it puts you in your place.
Stripping away everything else that consumes us in our society on a daily basis and just being in tune with something greater than me and greater than us.
In the summer of 2007, Brad and the crew set out to complete the adventure, this time kayaking in open waters to reach the end of the West Coast Trail. Now, Brad had suffered broken ribs training for the journey and other physical concerns as well, but he couldn't be stopped. With the help of his friends and a specially adapted kayak, his dream was realized.
I can't even tell you the amount of people that said to me, "You guys are nuts. Like, you know, you could literally kill yourselves. There's no question."
I think most of the people that I was talking to didn't really know what the West Coast Trail was and didn't really understand it. I heard it more after we'd finished it. You guys are crazy for doing this kind of thing. And those people, I think, if they had known what we were getting into, would have been saying exactly the same thing. They would have said, "You can't do that. That's unsafe. You should not do that." And they would, reinforce those boundaries that, we all collectively share, unfortunately.
To me, our trip was not about disability. I believe it was about ability. That's why Brad is so incredible at what he does in his career and working with other people living with spinal cord injuries. He chooses to have an amazing life and rise above what was given to him. And he's really made some amazing things happen. I'd like to be like that.
In closing, I'd like to include a few of Brad's own words, and he says, "Quadriplegia, quite honestly, is an absolutely amazing and unbelievable reality. Sometimes I feel as though my free spirit is trapped inside a person of flesh and bone, bouncing off walls, looking for ways to escape or express itself. Other times, I feel as though it has been a path to enlightenment, showing me what I am made of, discovering strength I somehow knew I had never utilized, making me practice patience most will never find, and also challenging myself every single day to overcome things that were once so simple and today are incredible mountains. Through it all, I have learned to always believe in me and to remain an individual who will never be defined by my disability and what others believe to be true. I now know that I can handle anything that life puts in my path, and I welcome the unknown." Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the 2007
Regardless of what happens to you or knocks you down, either physically, mentally, or emotionally in your life, you must always let your spirit stand tall. And my spirit's standing here right now. Like, you might see me sitting, but I'm like standing tall with my fists raised high. So thank you, and peace.